Now I'm going to introduce how to do the double crochet stitch. This is the most widely used crochet stitch. It's not as dense or as tight as a single crochet, and it is not as loose and I would describe as kind of holey with big holes as the triple crochet. So it's used very, very often. I'm going to start out with making the slip knot and attach the yarn onto the hook again. I put the cut end of the thread in front of my forefingers of my left hand. Now this is instructions for right-handers. I cross the yarn over from lower right to upper left, make an X, and go to the top of the X and enter from the right with my crochet hook facing down. Go underneath the right side and go over the left side with the hook. Catch the left side of the X and pull the whole thing off your hand and tighten up the two pieces of thread, the two ends of the thread, to make the slip knot and attach it onto your crochet hook. I like to make my slip knot this way because it gets the slip knot onto the hook. Now the correct hand positioning: thread through the two fingers, close the fingers, turn the hand so that the open palm of the hand, this is the palm of the hand, is facing you and your chest area. Take the middle finger and your thumb and pinch the cut end of the thread directly underneath the crochet hook. I want you to chain 8 for the double crochet sample. Now what I'm going to do is chain an additional 3 to make the double crochet. Remember, when we did single crochet, we chain an extra 2 after we chained 8. Now we're chaining an extra 3. We are going to skip those 3 chains. That's going to become kind of like your fake chain stitch in your next row or next pass over. You're going to pass over and work into each of these chains now. 1, 2, 3, you skip those. Now the big difference between single crochet and double crochet is you actually yarn over first before you go into your next chain. So you skip 3, go into underneath the very top thread of the chain while the yarn is yarned over. When you get to the other side, yarn over again and pull the hook back through the chain. Instead of 2 loops on your crochet hook, now you have 3. 1, 2, 3. Yarn over and pull that yarned over thread through 2 of the loops. Yarn over again and pull it through your final 2. You've just done a double crochet. So there's your turning chain right here on the right. Then your true first double crochet is to the left of that. And if you pull on that, you see how that opens up the hole bigger? So you've already hooked a double crochet in there. So you shouldn't put your crochet hook into the same hole. Yarn over, remember to yarn over for double crochet, and go into the chain underneath the top yarn of the next chain over to the left. We're not skipping 3, we're just going to the next one. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Continue to do that until you get to the very last chain. Remember to yarn over first when you do double crochet. That's the difference, one of the big differences actually, between single and double. That's what creates that extra loop that you have to go through at the end. Yarn over, go underneath that top yarn, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Just know that you always have to yarn over and at the end pull through 2. Pull that yarn through, a pair of those loops. Make sure you unravel some yarn as you're working, because you don't want that yarn to be under a lot of tension, or your piece is going to end up getting tighter and tighter. Okay, so I've worked into the very, very last chain. This little piece is the knot that we started with. You could go into that underneath one more if you really wanted to. That's up to you. But I don't care to. For double crochet, chain 3 at the end. Flip the piece over from right to left. Skip 3 and go under now. Go under the 4th chain. You'll notice that once again, like the second pass or second row of the first crochet was, you can see that the chain has now kind of formed and it's laying horizontally on the top of this wall here. And you're going to go underneath both pieces of yarn thread that create the chain. Because this is double crochet, you should always yarn over first from back to front, not from front to back, back to front. Skip the 3 extra chains that you made, that's your turning chain, and go underneath the 4th chain. After you go through, catch the yarn, pull it through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, and now you just go right into the next one and the next one and the next one without skipping any chains. The chain 3 and skip 3 thing is only done at the very end of a row. And it's important because it keeps the crochet sample or your scarf or whatever you're making, it keeps it square, it keeps it straight on the sides, on the edges. You're neither creating an extra stitch nor losing, so you keep your work kind of even, because you make a chain and you make chain 3 and you skip 3. You're not really adding or losing, and they kind of hooked into the same area, so things kind of stay even numbered. Yarn over, go underneath the chain, yarn over, pull through, and you're going to go and do that across the whole piece. I think about 5 rows of double crochet would be good for a sample. So try to make something that looks like a little square sample. Okay, now I don't see any chains that are laying horizontally, so I know I'm at the end of the row. It looks pretty rectangular and straight. Now I'm going to do one more pass just to make sure that you all understand how to do double crochet. Chain 3 when you get to the end of a row, 1, 2, 3. Flip the piece over from right to left, skip 3, yarn over, and go underneath the 2 pieces of yarn that form the 4th chain. Yarn over, pull the yarn over the top of the hook, catch the yarn, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, now go right into the underneath the next chain, and so on and so forth, and do that until you get to the end of that row. So as you see, it's not that hard. Once you get it, it's not that hard. Make sure that you are using the correct millimeter size. That's how thick the crochet hook is. Make sure you're using the correct millimeter size hook for the size thread, because thicker threads require thicker hooks, and thinner yarns require thinner hooks. So you can't use one hook for all sizes. You can't do that. So if you have a big chunky thread, you need like an enormous crochet hook. So here I did 3 rows. And how do I count the rows? I count these little vertical pieces. These are my double crochet stitches. So here's 1 row of them, these little tall little columns here. 1, 2, 3. So that's 3 rows. So I think maybe because the double crochet is a little bit of a taller stitch, maybe I can get away with going 1 more row up and then ending that. I'm going to end it here. Cut off a tail about 4 inches in length. Yarn over and then pull that tail all the way through with your hand or the hook. Just use the hook, it's faster. And then that's it. Pull tight, and that's how to end your second sample. Snip, snip. I always add a little, I never cut right at the knot because then the piece can unravel. So you should always leave a tail.